good morning. You join me on a motorcycle. Today, I'm enjoying a different hobby, motorcycling. And I prefer a style of motorcycling that's called adventure touring, which basically means I ride a bigger, heavier motorcycle, and I take it on the pavement as well as off the pavement. And today, bumps. Today you join me off the pavement. We'll do both, but there's some really cool spots that we like to go to. I say we because today I'm with my buddy Mike, and yeah, we're riding around. He's on a KTM 890, and I am on actually his old BMW R1200 GS that I bought from him, so he could get that one. So I'm gonna change the camera angle a little bit and do some riding. Alright, so now we're on the pavement heading from one location to the next for the gravel roads that we like. But, talk real quick, how long have I been riding a motorcycle? Sorry for the darkness. I've been riding a motorcycle for almost 30 years. I got my first dirt bike when I was 7, and I was hooked, and then at, I guess that would have been 19? No, 22. At 22, I sold that motorcycle because I moved. And I moved to the south. And I needed the money. And now, I got back into it right before COVID kicked off. So I guess I took a little bit of a hiatus, maybe an 8-year... Yeah, about an 8-year hiatus, 9 years, so let's call it 10, let's round up. So almost 30, took a 10-year break, so I've been riding a motorcycle actively for almost 20 years. So riding for 20 years, well, I must be really good, right? No, because they're different styles of riding. In fact, let me take you through my history of motorcycles. The first dirt bike I got was a little... I think it was like a 75cc Yamaha or something like that. It was orange. And then I had that for a few years. And when I turned 10, I got a Suzuki RM80 that my dad painted purple for me because it was my favorite color. That was really cool. I liked that bike. And then after that, I would ride on and off my brother's 125s and 250s, my older brother. And then I got my first street bike. My first street bike was a 1976 Kawasaki KZ400 or KZ400. And it was a kickstart. It had at best 20 horsepower, at best. And that might even be pushing it. It was perfect. It let me learn how to ride on the road. It was fine. And then after that, I had a 1990 Suzuki Intruder 800, so a cruiser style bike, and I really liked that bike. It was a lot of fun. It was actually very comfortable. Looking at it, you wouldn't think it is, but it's a very comfortable bike. And that was the one I sold before I came down south. And then when I got back into motorcycles, I bought a 2019 Yamaha R3. And I always wanted a sport bike, so I got an R3, which is all the sport bike you want with the safety of a 321cc engine. So it was a fun bike to ride. It was extremely economical. I would get over 60 miles to the gallon on that thing. It was great. And then I bought the Suzuki V-Strom, the DL650, the orange bike that I just recently sold. Did a video about that. And now I'm on a 2013 BMW R1200 GS. So I went from a 75cc to an 80 to a 400, to an 800, back to a 300, and then a 650, and now a 1200. And that's my motorcycle history. So why did I go from a sport bike to adventure touring? Well, the sport bike was fun, and I've always been inspired by Expedition Overland and other channels like that. And I wanted to get off-road, I wanted to adventure more, and I had a Jeep Patriot, which I adored that car. It was perfect for me. It was all the off-roading I wanted or needed for the style of off-roading that I would want to do, which is basically fire service roads, forest service roads, and that stuff. But when I sold that car to buy the motorcycles, I decided to do more street stuff, and I learned over the course of the last 3 years that I like riding the sport bike. It was a fun thing to learn, but really it didn't allow me to get out into the woods. I mean, the best I could do is a paved road that gets me near the woods, very much like I am right now, but this motorcycle does that too. But the benefit of this motorcycle is when the pavement runs out, I can comfortably keep going. So, transition to adventure touring, get something like a BMW or a KTM Adventure. Yeah, that's been a lot of fun, and I've learned a lot. Alright, well, that's enough of me rambling on. I promised I wouldn't talk too much. Let's get to do some riding. So when you ride on road, obviously you're sitting down most of the time, most all the time. But when you off-road, standing up gives you a better perspective of what's in front of you and lets you plan for it a little bit better. Because when you ride a motorcycle, and quite frankly when you drive a car, you should be doing the same thing. You should be looking much further ahead, basically as far as your eye can see on the road that you're traveling, and then glancing back down in front of you to do any last minute maneuvering. Because if I'm looking way up there where Mike is going around that corner, I might be able to see a rock or a hole or something, and I can plan for it 4, 5, 6 seconds before I ever get to it. And glancing back down in front of me gives me the opportunity to ensure that I'm on the line that I want, but also pick up anything that the shadows may have obscured, like those potholes. So while we ride comfortably, let me talk about some of the channels that I like to reference on YouTube when it comes to motorcycling. And if you're looking for a place to start, I would say realistically, if you're brand new to riding motorcycles, check out the channel Dan the Fireman. I'll overlay his information now. His channel, obviously the name kind of says it all. He used to be a fireman. He has since retired, and he was big into motorcycles. Now he's a motorcycle riding instructor. But anyway, his channel focuses a lot on extremely beginner stuff. He also does a lot of reviewing other videos of crashes or stunt riding or stuff, and kind of talks about what's wrong with that, what's bad with that, and that's fine. I don't much particularly care for those, but his instructional videos are really good. I actually think he has a second channel that he has where he does more of the beginner tutorials and instructions. So if you're brand new to motorcycling or curious about it, Dan the Fireman. Alright, the next channel that I would say to check out is, especially if you're street oriented, only because his channel has mostly that kind of content on it, although he's getting more into the off-roady stuff, adventure stuff, is Chase on Two Wheels. He's probably one of the go-to in this category when it comes to motorcycling YouTubers. But Chase on Two Wheels is a really, really good resource. I've been watching his stuff for years. In fact, it was his videos that convinced me to buy the Yamaha, the R3, over the other competitors in that class car coming. So yeah, Chase on Two Wheels. Check out his channel. That's very nice of him. Thank you. And the last channel that I would say to check out, and there's a bunch more, so explore, but there's one, I think it's Break Magazine is the name of the channel, but anyway, it's LL Pavy. I believe I'm saying that right. And he is a really good resource. And I think he still does. Oh shit, is that Mike's bike? No, okay, God almighty, that scared me. You know, stuff like this, when you see it in the road, you might as well just pull over and move it, right? So let's do that. And I have, whoops, I have hazards. Let me put those on. Why not? I'm here. Zippity-doo-dah. There. Easy as that. Christ almighty, I thought that was Mike's bike on its side. Scared the shit out of me. But anyway, Break Magazine, LL Pavy, I think that's it. Anyway, he was a former enduro racer, and he still does the occasional race, but really, really, really good from an off-roading sense. And he has Mini Tip Mondays, which are awesome. I've learned so much from his Mini Tip Mondays videos that I try to apply out here. So yeah, check out those three channels: Dan the Fireman, Chase on Two Wheels, and Break Magazine. Let's go catch up with Mike. Welcome to one of our favorite spots. This place is really awesome. You can see the river is not far off the top of the bridge. And there's a total turnaround spot. Actually, the water's really low today. So upriver, there is a dam for power, hydroelectric dam. And so the water level kind of depends on how much they're releasing through upriver. All right, Clinton Smelt. No, I'm just turning around, Mike. I'm coming right back. Actually, here's a good shot of Mike. Get you a good shot of him. Looks good. Good to park there. But yes, it is really, really pretty. This is one of our favorite spots to stop. And the best part is, which is crazy, but on a day like today, there's nobody here. And that's extremely uncommon. Normally this place is full of people. And you know what? Let's do this. I got stung by a bee here. And what I'll do is I actually caught it all on film. So I'll go ahead and play that footage for you now. This is what I call bee in your bonnet. Oh, I am. Yeah, there are definitely worse places to be than this. I got something in my helmet. Hold on. Ant or something. Ah, man, it's biting me. Holy crap, that hurts. God almighty, that hurts. I think our turn is coming up here soon. Because I remember that camp spot back there. Yeah, that's it right there. That's a big tree. Man. Alright. That's encouraging. Think he'll let us go by? He opened his driver door. Okay. Well, shut the door, dummy. Boy, oh boy, this is steep. That's the front of somebody's car. You want me to go? Sure. All right, I'm gonna go. All right, Mike, it's real bad on the right here. I decided to take it. Try to stay left as far as you can. Yeah, we're down. I'm going to park it right here. I'll creep up so you can go in right behind me. Heck yeah. Oh, baby. Where's my thing? Hell yeah, man. Great work. Alright, shutting her down. Fire it up. Give myself one honk for audio sync. There we go. Alright. I know my path. I have a plan. You got your plan? All right. Here we go. So far, so good. Left of the big tree. Good, ride the ridge line. Good. Up my little path, awesome. Up this great path, perfect. And then right edge or left edge, doesn't really matter coming up there. Hey, I'm good, made it. There you go, stay committed. So that was fun. Had a good time. Obviously we're not done yet. We still got the same road all the way back out to the main paved road. But yeah, Mike's behind me. Maybe you can see him in the other camera. But he'll be behind me the rest of the ride out, because I get to lead. Which, to be fair, he shouldn't let me do, because every time I lead, we end up on a trail we're not supposed to be on. I think one time we ended up on a horse trail. Another time we ended up on the wrong trail. So yeah, we're headed out now. It's been a lot of fun. This is typically what a day of me riding a motorcycle consists of, is out here practicing standing while riding, but also practicing things like getting the front end light to get over potholes, or locking up the rear wheel to control a skid or a slide. Obviously, the steep downhill and steep uphill at the water's edge that we just did. I promise you, it's about, oh man, it's probably 100 to 120 feet of elevation change in about 1/10 of a mile. So it's a pretty steep down and up, and it's all rocky and rutted out from water runoff and other 4x4s going up and down that road. So it's fun. But stuff like that, in the last video I talk about managed risk. Stuff like that helps me be a better on-road rider, because if I can navigate through rocky, rutted out terrain while standing up on a loose surface, right, gravel or something like that, then in theory, while seated with good traction on something like pavement, it would help me in a situation where maybe I hit some sand in the road, or maybe it's been raining and I don't have a choice but to ride, and therefore the road is slippery. Maybe I hit an oil patch or something. All that stuff that could happen, this prepares me for. So managing the risk, I'm out here training, practicing, or at least that's what I can tell you. Realistically, I'm just out here to have fun and get out of the house and explore all this beautiful scenery. I mean, the road in front is absolutely gorgeous. Again, not good to photograph because it's light and dark and light and dark. All right, let's do a little throttle movement. Got hit by a twig. But yeah, light and dark, not good for photography, but really, really cool and pretty to look at in person. So that about sums up really all I have to say about this video, which is I like to motorcycle. I like to ride. I like to get out on pavement, or in this case, off pavement, and just have fun. And thankfully I have someone like Mike who has very similar goals and interests, so we can ride together. And like I talked about in the last video about staying safe, having somebody out here with you would obviously be more safe than if I were out here by myself. So it helps him feel better, and it helps me feel a lot better, and it helps our wives and our respective families feel better as well. So with that, I will stop talking, and we can close this video out with some pretty cool, maybe some fast-forwarded footage of this ride out. So thank you all very much for watching, and I'll talk to you on a future episode. Let's go have some fun.